Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the Neca Deluxe Unarmored Assassin Predator from the film The Predator. This is the second version of the Assassin Predator they've made from the film. This is going to have his armor off. This is a green version. I got my figure from Walmart. He's a timed exclusive, available only at Walmart for the first month, and then other retailers will get a chance to sell him. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging here. As you can see at the top, got the Predator scope here. It says The Predator. Here he is when he ripped off the fugitive's head. Ages 17 plus, Assassin Predator, deluxe action figure. At the top, the Predator, Assassin Predator. The side, pretty much same thing. The other side, not too different. At the bottom, there is a barcode in case that helps anybody, as well as a bunch of credits. And the back side, you can see this giant Predator posed up. He's so much bigger than the fugitive. He is a 7-inch scale figure, but he's considerably larger than that. And this is one of NECA's ultimate figures, so it's in the window box packaging. You can hear the Velcro. On one side, here's the figure. And then here he is, pretty much an exact re-release and repaint of the previous Assassin Predator. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And I did end up getting two of these figures. I got two of the previous Predator Assassin release, so I feel like I had to get two of these as well. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. He does come with two alternate hands, totaling 4 interchangeable hands. He has 2 heads. He comes with a plasma cannon that will come out of his forearm. He has a plug to cover the hole in case you don't want to attach a laser cannon. And then he has a long blade for the other hand. Now before we look at the accessories, let's talk about and look at the actual figure. So this is the Deluxe Assassin Predator from that Misfit film, The Predator. And this is the unarmored variant. In the film, he had an endoskeleton that he would grow under his skin, and then he would look gray when he's ready for combat. And this is how he would look when he's just casually going around, not fighting. I remember the scientist lady being very impressed when she saw him transform. So let's take a look at him. This is a big boy. He is the 7-inch scale, but considerably larger than that. I love the way his crown looks. The colors are very nice. He does look mean, eyes sunken in, dark around there. You can see his dreads, they got the copper around them. All these little spikes on his head, a lot of detail, and the little spikes on his dreads as well. Very, very nice sculpt. You can see spikes on his shoulder as well. His color is pretty much a light brown, yellow, almost a little bit greenish as well. I do remember from the previous release, 2 things. Number 1, his joints were very stiff. I had to boil some water. And number 2, very hard to keep this guy standing. The flat surface on the bottom of his feet is very small. So it looks like double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. The coloring is very nice. He wasn't looking like this very much in the film, only for a few seconds here and there. Not his main look, but I'm happy to add this variant to the collection. So the story of this Assassin Predator, he's from a dishonorable clan that was genetically engineering themselves to have an unfair advantage in the hunt. That's why he's so big and so strong. Originally in the film, the fugitive had stolen something from them and brought it to Earth. He was going to meet up with the 2 emissary predators, and they were going to make a stand against this guy's dishonorable conduct. That message was pretty much lost in the film. Yeah, you knew the assassin and the fugitive were fighting, but it wasn't made clear as to why. And then, here's his figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. And here are both the figures broken down as far as they can go, with all their accessories laid out. Now you may not be able to tell very well due to the darkness of the photo, but here's a shot of him from the film in his unarmored look. And here's a shot of the figure in the unarmored look. And here's a shot of him from the film in his armored look. And here's the armored version of the figure. Now let's check out his accessories, and let's start off with his hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here he is with his other pair of hands. These are some open hands. These hands could be relaxed at his side. They could be grabbing or choking the fugitive. Now let's look at his heads. He comes with 2 of them, one with the mandible shut and one of the mandibles open as he's screaming. Here he is with his first head attached. And here he is with his second head with the mouth wide open. Now let's look at his wrist blade. It's very long. You can see it's got some sculpted detail on it, pure silver. Here he is with the blade attached. Now let's look at his plasma cannon that will attach to his forearm. And he also has a plug in case you don't want to use the cannon. It'll cover up that ugly hole. Looks pretty cool. Laser cannon has 2 points of articulation at the base here. Here's the hole on his left arm where you can attach the cannon. Here it is with the hole plugged up. And here he is with cannon attached. Like I said before, it has 2 points for articulation here at the bottom and then at the top. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to top, he's sitting at about 11.25 inches tall, which is going to translate to about 28.5 centimeters. And now, let's take a look at his articulation. In preparation for this, I boiled up a big pot of boiling water, dunked him in there, and made sure everything was freed up as it can be. Starting with his head, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up and down about that far. Pretty nice. His head can tilt a little bit from side to side, giving him a nice amount of personality. His shoulders here, they're on a ball joint. Now, this shoulder pad is sort of soft, but you might have to help it as it goes over the shoulder. It can go out this far, 90 degrees, not too bad. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. Like I said, this part here is soft. You can sort of move it. No bicep cut. He does have double jointed elbows. Here's the top part going in, and then there's the bottom part going in. You can rotate it both in the top and at the bottom there. And then his wrist here, it can rotate around, and it's going to be hinged as well. He's got a ball joint in his torso. It can rotate around, can go forward and back. Another ball joint in his waist. It can also rotate around, also go forward and back, giving him a very nice range of motion in his torso here. Legs and ball joints, you can hear they sort of click into place. That's a little bit annoying, but I can understand it helps hold him all of his weight when he's standing. Then go forward about that far, back about that much. They can move independently of the ball in there. Double jointed elbows. The bottom part goes back about that far, and then the top part about that far. It can rotate at the top of the knee as well. Going further down, he's got another sort of knee joint here. Go forward about that far, back, can also rotate. Then his ankle here, go back, forward, and it can tilt rock quite a bit. I did think these two guys would work as a couple of giant ancient predator guards, possibly guarding a temple. Here he is, holding the fugitive in midair by the neck, just like in the film. Here he is, breaking out of a Weyland-Yutani facility, where they were doing all kind of experiments on him. And here's a little bit more of an aerial shot of the same thing. You can even see Charles Weyland, head of the company in the back, begging his commandos not to let his specimen escape. Here they are, guarding an ancient predator temple, where they create the xenomorphs. Now, here he is, taking on a few engineers in their own territory. And of course, he ended up winning. You can see him holding his trophies. He has the engineer helmet that came with the Deacon, and the engineer skull that came with the Predator Ahab. And here he is, a little bit more of a modern urban setting, taking out some soldiers. And finally, here he is, taking on a couple of power loaders. I was also curious how he'd fit into the Predator Bone Throne, and even though he's larger than intended, it actually works very well. Now let's check him out, compared with some other action figures, starting off with some other figures from The Predator. Here he is, next to the first release of the Assassin. This is the armored version. And here are all the deluxe Assassin figures that I have. Here he is, with all three versions of the Fugitive they've made, and I do believe they're going to make one more repaint. Then, here he is next to the Emissary Predators, which were actually cut from the film. And I like using these Diamond Select Terror Dogs from Ghostbusters as the Predator Hounds from this film. I will say, these Terror Dogs look much better than the bullshit that film came up with. And here's my entire collection from The Predator. Not sure what else they could possibly make from the film. I would love to get the entire human team, but I don't expect that to ever happen. And they could possibly make the Iron Man Predator suit from the end of the film. But God, that thing was pretty stupid. Now let's check him out, next to some other recent Predator releases. Here he is with the Ultimate Lost Tribe they've released so far. And here he is next to the Alpha Predator. And now let's check him out, next to some Predators from each of the different Predator films. Here he is with the Ultimate Jungle Hunter from Predator. Here he is with the entire Lost Tribe from Predator 2. These are all the original versions. And here he is with the clan leader, Scar, Celtic, and Chopper from Alien vs. Predator. Then, next to Wolf from Aliens vs. Predator Requiem. This is an older NECA figure, and they promise to revisit him in Ultimate format in the near future. Here he is next to Berserker, Tracker, and Falconer from Predators. And here he is next to the Fugitive and the Deluxe Armored Assassin from The Predator. Then, next to a couple of Engineers from Prometheus. Here he is next to a couple of Ultimate Xenomorphs from the 1986 film Aliens. And now let's check him out next to a couple of larger aliens. Here he is with the Queen Alien standing in its most upright position. Then, next to the Newborn. And here he is next to a couple of Rhino aliens. Then, next to some human figures from NECA's various Alien and Predator lines. Here he is taking a squad of NECA Colonial Marines. And you know what? I think this guy's going to take out every one of them. And finally, here he is taking out Dutch and his extraction team from Predator. So overall, I'd say this figure's great. His articulation's pretty nice, albeit a little stiff. His accessories are good. The sculpt and paint job are top notch. They're excellent. So many details and texturing all over this guy. Even though this unarmored version was in the film for literally about 1 second, it's very cool to have a variation of the Armored Assassin. If I were to rate this guy, I'd give him an 8.5 out of 10. He's every bit as good as the armored version. I really like the paint job in this guy. It looks very nice on him. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.